Public information. Please pause the video if you would like to read the complete public information. This video is an email exchange between the Neath MP, Christina Rees, the Glynneath Councillor, Simon Knoyle, and the Glynneath Residents Against Contamination Chairman, Dai Richards. The subject matter of the initial email is the Council of Death document delivered to 15 Neath-Port Talbot Councillors on the 7th of September 2020. The complete document can be found on our YouTube channel, Walk Around Wales, by searching for the term Neath-Port Talbot Council of Death document. The document shows how the Council Planning Department worked with the demolition and asbestos removal company Cuddy Group Limited to avoid remediation of contaminated land through a series of planning approvals between 2008 and 2010. This broke the 1990 Environmental Protection Act. The purpose of the submitted document was to verify the responsibilities and the actions of the Neath-Port Talbot Council when contaminated land was reported to them as part of a Cuddy Group planning application in 2008, and to identify whether or not the Council have upheld these responsibilities. However, for the past 3 years, the Council have hidden the document. The Glynneath councillors, Del Morgan and Simon Knoyle, are named in the document as refusing to communicate with residents in relation to the information contained within the document. This is still the case. The chain begins with an email from Christina Rees to Stephen Carl Hunt, 2023 at 11:46 a.m. Subject: Glynneath Residents Against Contamination. Dear Councillor Hunt, I am writing to you on behalf of the Chairman of the Glynneath Residents Against Contamination, Mr. Dai Richards. Mr. Richards has sent me the following, that he would like you, in your capacity as leader of the Council, to address directly. Mr. Richards has asked that Christina please make representation on our behalf of our group, Glynneath Residents Against Contamination, to the Council Leader at NPTC, Stephen Carl Hunt, requesting an official response from the Council in relation to a document submitted to 15 Neath-Port Talbot Council councillors in September 2020 that identified the Council breached the UK Government's 1990 Environmental Protection Act during the planning process at the Glynneath site. To date, this document has not been responded to, and there is clear evidence that the head of planning at NPTC, Kerry Morris, has misrepresented this UK Government legislation. I have copied in Councillor Llewellyn as Deputy Leader and Councillor Knoyle as Mr. Richards, Local Councillor. I would appreciate a response to Mr. Richards. If you have any questions about the points raised by Mr. Richards, please let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to your reply. Yours sincerely, Christina Rees, MP. From Councillor Simon Knoyle. Email sent 20th of April 2023 at 12:24. To Christina Rees and the Council Leader. Copied: Councillor Alan Llewellyn, Deputy Leader, Kerry Morris, Nicola Pearce, Craig Griffiths, Karen Jones, Chief Executive. Subject: Glynneath Residents Against Contamination. Good afternoon, Christina. I hope that all is well with you. I will take the reply to this email, if that's okay. Alan has to date very little involvement in the issues with regards this site. Steve has had some and much more since taking over as leader in June 2022, but the issues go back further to March 2020. I and previous Councillor Del Morgan were subjected to a tidal wave of abuse, bullying, harassment, slander and libel against us, which continues to this day. I have copied in Kerry Morris, Head of Planning, Nicola Pearce, Director, Craig Griffiths, Head of Legal, and Karen Jones, Chief Executive, who will know the history on this also. There have been many replies to Mr. Richards, and I have them attached to emails but not saved as documents on my iPad, where I am today, dealing with the issues raised by him. These replies were requested by Del and I during the last 3 years, and it is to my understanding that they deal with the issues raised and close them out from the council perspective. Of course, the correspondence being referred to by Mr. Richards dating back to September 2020 was during a time when Steve was not the leader of the council. I would ask therefore that Kerry or Nicola, please can you copy and attach all the letters sent to Mr. Richards from May 2020 onwards which answer his queries, especially in relation to the alleged breach of the Environmental Act 1990. Please copy all of us into the reply with the documents attached. Christina, I am more than happy to come and see you and show you all the email correspondence that I have and copies of all the social media posts from Mr. Richards in relation to this item. Let me know when it is convenient for you. Kind regards, Simon. Councillor Simon Knoyle. Following on from this exchange, Dai Richards replied to Christina Rees, offering the MP an opportunity to observe an exchange of information between Councillor Knoyle and the Glynneath residents against contamination. Email sent 24th of April 2023 at 17:05 to Christina Rees and Councillor Simon Knoyle from Dai Richards. Dear Christina and Councillor Knoyle, I am copying Christina to observe while we exchange information in relation to the Hale Glyn landfill site. I note from your email reply that you, Councillor Knoyle, suggest that I and previous Councillor Del Morgan were subjected to a tidal wave of abuse, bullying, harassment, slander and libel against us, which continues to this day. If this is the case, then I would suggest that Councillors Knoyle and Morgan should take this to the police or through the civil legal system where it belongs. It is his word against mine, and if he has evidence of slander and libel, then he should take it forward. I am happy to stand by everything I have said. I would suggest that his deliberate misrepresentation of a toxic waste dump to the public of Glynneath is of far greater concern to all. I would begin the debate with Councillor Knoyle, starting here. Dear Councillor Knoyle, I will attach a photograph with a video link as additional evidence that you are deliberately misrepresenting the status of the Hale Glyn landfill site to residents in Glynneath, and have acted in a threatening manner towards an elderly resident who is living next to the site and has reason to be concerned for his safety. Both you and Del Morgan have refused to communicate with myself and others, including this resident, who formed a residents group when we have asked relevant questions to you in relation to the site since April 2020. Incident 1. In September, we published a video and posted through your door a hard copy letter in relation to the site together with the relevant images of contamination. Bottom images on the attached image. To view this video on YouTube, please search for Walk Around Wales channel Knoyle Exposed Contamination Question 2. You did not answer the relevant question asked of you that identified council protocol that should have been followed. I would ask that you provide through this chain of communication evidence that you have either answered the question or found it to be abusive or otherwise. Incident 2. Following the publication of the video with information about contamination, you were involved in an incident at the rugby club. The top left and top right images are two versions of the same incident. The top left is your version, posted on your councillor Facebook page. The other, an independent observer version, taken by a serving Glynneath Town Councillor. I am not involved in either image, nor am I involved in the incident itself. I have only recorded the information. The black image is a testimony by a neutral observer. It shows how you have misrepresented the site to a Glynneath resident living next to it at its most potent location. You say twice that there is no contamination. Simon said there is no contamination. It is not contaminated. There is more than one witness to this statement. You were in fact lying to the face of a 79-year-old man whose wife died of cancer, whose daughter has had cancer, and who lives between two people who have died from a rare neurodegenerative disorder that 1 in 100,000 people die of and can be linked to contamination. You were saying there is no contamination on the site, and when you were told to fuck off, you get angry and threaten him. You mentioned Glynneath News and Views as supporting Glynneath residents against contamination, and that we are only one person. It should be noted that one of the admins of Glynneath News and Views at the time was the current council leader, Stephen Carl Hunt. And I can assure you, he has never sided with us on that group. In fact, he once banned and removed me from the group after I posted about your failure to undertake due diligence in relation to the document supplied to Neath-Port Talbot Council in September 2020. In this instance, you also misrepresent the role of Glynneath News and Views. The top left image is a whitewash post on social media with a view to whipping up a hate campaign against a group of residents who are trying to defend themselves from planning department malpractice, and you have misrepresented a site that is full of poison. Then you bullied an old man because he dared to challenge your lies. To summarise, Councillor Knoyle, I have asked you. You did not answer the relevant question asked of you that identified council protocol that should have been followed. I would ask that you provide, through this chain of communication, evidence that you have either answered the question or found it to be abusive or otherwise. Would you care to elaborate on the incident with the rugby club member, please? I would also welcome any observations you have about my conduct or either topic in relation to the Hale Glyn landfill site. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I look forward to your reply, and I thank Christina for presenting us with this platform so that we can both present information that can be considered and replied to in the appropriate fashion. Regards, Dai. Simon Knoyle did not reply to this email. Instead, an email was received from the Council Chief Executive Karen Jones on the 27th of April 2023. To see the contents of this email and our reply, please follow the link at the end of this video.